Night one of the Democratic National Debates, round two, and something that makes me really, really angry. Coming up on the Right Wing Vegan. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I don't know what I'm saying. Welcome back to the Right Wing Vegan. I'm Scott.
And I'm Kelly.
And I'm a little off today, Kelly. I'm a little off.
Why are you off?
Because I stayed up until 11 o'clock last night watching the debate. So I'm tired. I'm sleepy.
It was very, it was long, very tiring.
They felt long. I'll start there, I guess, and then I want to get into something else that makes me really angry. So, They felt really long. I feel like the appropriate time is 2 hours. I feel like with 2 hours, you have enough time to get in a bunch of questions, have some back and forth, and then end it. I feel like 3 hours is too long. Now, I get that there's 575 people on stage, but 3 hours is still just too long, in my opinion, for something like that.
No, yeah, definitely. I agree. It's just far too long.
Yeah, so we're going to get into the Democratic National Debates, Round 2, Part 1. Series 7, Volume 6, whatever. CNN hosted it. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff with it. We'll get into it. But I want to get through these plugs real fast so I can talk about something that's got me really angry. So you can go online to our website. It's rwvegan.com. There you will find our latest episode along with some other stuff. You can follow us on Twitter @VeganWing. You can see me argue about racism. And then you can email the show at rwvegan@gmail.com. I think that's it.
Yep, that's
it. So that's how you get in touch with us. Please do get in touch with us. Please give us a 5-star review because we need it. Because I'm trolling people on Twitter and I have a feeling I'm about to get kicked off. So definitely do that. We'll never be monetized on YouTube because even if we were to hit like 1 million, which we never will, but even if we were to hit like 1 million views, they definitely wouldn't monetize us. So go ahead and please give us a 5-star review, talk about how much you like us, all that stuff. Very important. So, all right. So I want to get into this because we don't have a lot of time. Oh, one other house cleaning thing. We're going to do 2 episodes this week. Okay. Tonight, we're going to cover the debates night 1, the undercard. And then tomorrow night, we're going to cover night 2, the main event. So we're going to do the undercard today. And then tomorrow, we're going to cover what happens tonight, the main event. I know it's confusing. So
yeah, I'm just following a day behind.
Yeah, a day behind because it ends at 11 o'clock and we both work full-time jobs. Because we need to. We need to bring in all that money now before they take it from us. So
yes.
We're just trying to squirrel away a bunch of money. We need to start using our health care now because I have a feeling they're going to try and take that away too. So anyways, something that makes me really upset. Okay.
So what's on your mind?
So, okay. I don't even know where to start with
this. It's a lot of noises.
So, okay, Mario Lopez, all right? Do you know who Mario Lopez is?
Yeah.
Okay, good-looking guy.
Yeah, he
Actor,
is.
He was on Saved by the Bell. He was Slater. Okay, now I think he hosts, Access Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
So, he was on the Candace Owens show. Okay. We like Candace Owens
a lot.
He was on her show. And so he basically said that it was dangerous for parents to raise children who are as young as 3 years old as transgender.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what he said. He said, I'm kind of blown away. Look, I'm never one to tell anyone how to parent their kids, obviously. And I think if you come from a place of love, you really can't go wrong. But at the same time, my God, if you're 3 years old and you're saying you're feeling a certain way, or you think you're a boy or a girl or whatever the case may be, I just think it's dangerous as a parent to make this determination. Then, well, okay, then you're going to be a boy or a girl, whatever the case may be. It's sort of alarming, and my gosh, I just think about the repercussions later on. When you're a kid, you don't know anything about sexuality yet. You're just a kid.
Yeah, I agree with him.
Okay.
Completely.
So, nothing defaming.
No.
Nothing inflammatory.
Not at all.
And to be quite honest with you, an honest assessment of how you parent a 3-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, every toddler goes through those stages where it's like, I want to be a dinosaur, or, you know, like you have the kid who never wants to get out of the princess dresses because they think they're a princess. Like, you don't turn them into a princess.
Yeah. Well, the tolerant LGBTQ community.
Oh, so tolerant.
Was calling for Lopez's head.
What?
They were calling for Access Hollywood or whatever it is to be canceled. Okay.
Okay.
Yahoo News, of course, was jumping all over this, reporting Yahoo's garbage. Don't use them. Don't go to their news website. Don't look at anything on Yahoo. They're garbage. They're hot garbage. The Twitter account for something called Human Rights Campaign. Okay, whatever. I think they're the equal sign crap. Anyways, they said that his comments are dangerous and to the safety and the well-being of LGBTQ youth, especially trans children who deserve to be loved and accepted for who they are. Okay. So, of course, Mario Lopez, because he's an actor and because he works in Hollywood, and I'm sure his job was on the line, among other threats, caves. Of course, he caves. And he says, the comments I made were ignorant and insensitive, and I now have a deeper understanding of how hurtful they were. I have been and always will be an ardent supporter of the LGBTQ community, and I'm going to use this opportunity to better educate myself. Moving forward, I will be more informed and thoughtful. Okay. All right.
So he has an opinion. He has a belief. I supported his belief.
It's not a belief.
No, I mean his opinion on it.
It's not an opinion. It's fact.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
What? I'm not trying to argue with you. It's a fact that a 3-year-old does not know what they want to be. If you think for 1 second that a 3-year-old is cognizant enough to tell you how they want to live their life, what they want to grow up to be, you are absolutely incredibly insane. I don't understand why. Okay, first of all, it's child abuse. All right, I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm not going to hold back anything because I really don't care if they come after me. Matter of fact, I invite them to come after me. Okay, I really do. Because I'm not going to hold back. I'm not some famous actor. I have nothing to lose. I will come out and I will tell them how ridiculous they are and how ridiculous this is. So, Kelly, you're a parent. You have a 3-year-old, okay? Your 3-year-old comes up to you and says, Mom, I think, and let's say it's a 3-year-old boy, and he comes up to you and he says, Mom, I want to be a girl. I want to be a girl. How do you react to that?
You sit down and you tell your son that he's a son. He's a boy, he's not a girl, and you tell him that he can play dress up if he wants with his siblings, or if he wants to put on a dress and go play dress up and make believe and pretend or whatever. That's fine, and that's all in good fun, but at the end of the day, you are a boy.
I think you just don't even acknowledge it. It's just one of those things where they run up to you and they say, I'm a girl, and you go, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Go back and play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, go let him play make-believe if they're just having a grand old time and he's playing with his older siblings. And, I mean, it's fine.
Because how many 3-year-olds walk up to you and say, Mommy, I'm a dinosaur?
A lot.
Mommy, I'm a fire engine. Mommy, I'm a train.
I know this little girl who is utterly convinced that she's a flamingo. Like, she walks around, like, every time she stops walking, she props her leg up just like a flamingo. She's convinced she's a flamingo. But I don't see her mom, like, putting her through treatments to make her a flamingo.
No. And that to me is absolutely child abuse, and these people should get their kids taken away from them.
What?
Putting your kid on a hormone treatment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
At such a young age, or even raising your kid as the opposite sex at such a young age. That is, you are ruining your child's life. That's what you're doing, okay? Do you know what the suicide rate is for trans people? Do you people even know that? Do you even care? You don't, right? Just like all the other left, you don't care about if raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour cuts 3 million jobs. You don't care because it's more people to suckle off the teat of government. And this is the same thing, isn't it? Because you people have to pretend like there's some sort of like crisis out there for freaking gay people and trans people. You have to manufacture this maltreatment. That's fake. It's all fake, by the way. You have to manufacture this, and just so that you can perpetuate your crap and push your agenda, probably so that you can make money somehow. Probably so that in 40 years you can come back and say, gay people and trans people deserve reparations. Give me a freaking break. Raise your freaking kids and stop acting, because Charlize Theron, the actress, she's raising her like 3-year-old as the opposite sex. because of this. Because this is what started this whole conversation. Because her son or daughter or whatever the hell it is came up to her and said, "Mom, I'm the opposite sex." And she said, "Okay." And so she's raising the kid that way. And she should be locked up. She should be thrown in jail for that. Honestly, thrown in jail, and her kid should get taken away from her.
I guess really I should just be glad that when I was little and I went to my mom and I was convinced I was a boy, and I even straddled the toilet to try and pee like a boy and did all those crazy tomboy things. I'm just glad that my mom didn't be like, "Oh, well, Kelly, if you're acting like a boy, you're a boy. Let's make you a boy."
You were straddling the toilet.
I did.
Like
I wanted to pee like a boy because I thought it was cool. I mean, it's this phase that you go through as kids. Like, you want to just be something different than what you are.
Yeah,
or it's fun. It's all make believe and pretend.
It's make believe.
But I am very much a girl. So thanks, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, it's all make believe, right? Like, I carried around a fake gun or a lightsaber, and I didn't really. I mean, I thought I was a Jedi in my mind because I was a kid. But it's not like my parents said, "All right, well, now we got to raise him as a Jedi because he thinks he's a Jedi. So now he's got the Force, and we got to teach him that he can move rocks with his mind and all this stuff." It's just, you know what? We're too into this. We're too into this, and now it's starting to affect other people's lives. And I'm a firm believer in your rights extend to the point to where they start infringing on someone else's rights, right? So basically the right is until you can you can stick your arm out until it touches the base of somebody else's nose. And then at that point you're infringing on their rights. And this is a weird thing that the left and apparently the LGBTQARB, whatever, who cares, community is this way too. And it's that children apparently aren't things. They're not actual living things, so they don't have rights. You by raising your kid this way are harming your kid. 40%, by the way, in case you're wondering, is the suicide rate. I think it's 40%. So that's absolutely insane. And that's because it's a mental disorder. So, and sue me, I don't care. You can take all my debt. It's a mental disorder, and you know, when you raise your kids this way, you're damaging them mentally. You're messing with their psyche, and you're not even giving them an effing chance. And I just think that that's disgusting. I think you are disgusting. I think the people, anybody who raises their kid that way, I think that you the LGBTQ community for calling for Mario Lopez's head for saying something logical, reasonable, sane is disgusting. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of living in this world where people say things that are grounded in reality, that are based in truth, and then the left, just members of the left or whatever community, who cares, comes up and then just says, "You're wrong. I have no facts to back up what I'm saying." Obviously, a 3-year-old can't make that decision. Any sane person will tell you that. But no, because what?
Because everyone has to believe the way that they believe.
But that's
I mean, that's how the left is.
Yeah.
If you go against what the left is saying, they will have your head for it until you come around and say whatever it is that they want you to say.
Well,
that's just how the left is.
Will never apologize. Okay? I don't care. I will never apologize for this. If in 20 years I decide to run for office and CNN is playing this, I'm not going to apologize for it. As a matter of fact, I promise you right now, I will go on crappy CNN and I will say, I meant every word of what I said right there. I meant every word of it, and I'll say it again. I'll double down on it because I'm sick of y'all bullying people. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of you bullying people so that they feed into your freaking delusion. Your freaking delusion, because that's what it is. You're all delusional, okay? Guess what? You're a man. Guess what? You're a woman. That's what you are. I'm not going to play make-believe. I'm not going to pretend like you're not. You are, okay? Look between your legs. What do you see? That's what you need. That's your proof. There is no difference between gender and sex. That's a very modern thought. It's an idea. It's like one of those theological out there thoughts too. It's not even grounded in any science or base or anything.
No, it's sociology.
Sociology.
I know what I'm saying. It's not grounded in science. It's sociology. It's a sociological thought.
Fake. That's what it. Go major in sociology and tell me what you're doing in 15 years. I bet you're pumping my gas. Give me a freaking break. So anyways, I'm just disgusted by this because at this point we're harming children now. We're harming children so that people can stay in their little safe spaces. And I'm just disgusted by it. And you know what? It's time. If you're disgusted by it, let's start taking some action. Let's start fighting back because this is outrageous. We gotta do something about this. These people need to be shut up. And I'm not saying violence. I'm not preaching that. I know, somebody will tweet me, "Oh, you violence." I'm not saying violence. I don't want to beat you up. I just want to argue with you and make you see facts. That's what I want to do. I want to shut you down. That's what I want to do.
You want to debate?
Yeah, these people love shutting us down. Maybe it's time we start shutting you down. I don't know how we'll do it because you have everybody on your freaking side, but we'll try to shut you down. I don't know. Anyways, so that's enough of that. That's enough of that because this world is crazy. And if you want to see proof of that, you could have turned on CNN last night and you could have suffered through 3 hours of the Democratic National Debate, round 2, part 1.
Oh
boy. So I'm going to kick this off by doing something, okay?
I don't know what you got going on.
Well, here's what I got going on. So we could have talked about this at the end, but I'm going to talk about it now because I want to get into our coverage. But the first Democratic debate, the first night on NBC and MSNBC, drew 15.3 million viewers. Okay?
Okay.
That's the first night of the first round.
Okay.
The first night of this second round, 9.2 million viewers.
Oh.
And that's a combined number. It's actually 8.7 million viewers.
Oh.
Okay?
That's
a significant decline. All right? So I don't know if that says anything. But I think it's important to note that significantly less people watch this one. Now, this one wasn't on a major network, and the previous one was on NBC.
Yeah.
So that could have something to do with it. But it also could be that people are just getting tired of this.
Yeah, and it's very possible. Or it could be, too, that you had a lot of people tuning in just to be like, what is all this hubbub about? Like, who in the world are these candidates anyways? Like, lots of conservatives can tune in and watch it, too. And maybe they're just like, I'll catch the recap on Fox.
I was certainly asking that question at the beginning of the debate. Who
Yeah.
in the world are some of these candidates?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know who half of them are. And I don't think I will because they're just going to drop off anyways, but...
So CNN kicks us off with a video package that makes this look like WrestleMania. They've got, like...
It was hilarious.
They've got each candidate. They've got some guy doing voiceover, like, America's facing the biggest convert, blah, 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 blah. And it was just like, wow, what am I freaking watching here?
I know, and I wish I actually saw the video package, but I was actually just pulling into the driveway, and Scott had the TV on, and I could hear it playing through my my car speaker. And I just sat there in my car in the driveway and listened to this package because it was pretty epic.
They got the dramatic music playing with little Pete Buttigieg's face on there, and it's like, and I'm like, this is the least exciting man with the most exciting music I've ever heard. It was like the weirdest contradiction of like, look at all these white people in suits about to talk for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And 90% of the time, they're gonna agree with each other. It was like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
Thanks, CNN. I really can't wait for this one.
Yeah.
A little over dramatic there.
Yeah, because it didn't live up to
Oh
that.
my gosh. So then they do the national anthem, and much to my surprise, not one candidate was kneeling.
Yes, although they were instructed that they needed to remain standing.
Well, you don't want the optics to look bad. These people are going to be the leader of the free nation. Maybe they ought to stand for the playing of the national anthem.
Well, you also have to instruct all of them. They need to be putting their hand over their
Yeah,
heart.
Tim Ryan didn't.
Yeah,
had his
he
little
didn't.
hands-
He just stood there with his hands in front of his pants or whatever. I don't know what he was doing.
Tim Ryan has this face that just always looks bored. He always looks confused, and he always looks kind of bored. Like, he's always like, I don't know where I am, but what am I doing here? What did you say? Oh, there it is.
He's just not even paying attention.
He's a very Frankenstein-like guy. Tim Ryan of the great state of Ohio, by the way.
Oh, really?
That's right. Tim Ryan.
Right, who's the baby face?
His name is Tim, right?
I don't know.
I am getting that right?
I don't know.
I guess
he's a super tall guy.
It doesn't matter what his name is because he has no chance of winning.
No. Wait, who's the babyface guy? Is that Buttigieg?
Pete Buttigieg.
Okay, well, I have to say, I really loved how when he was had his hand across his heart for the national anthem. He actually tucked his hand inside of his suit jacket to like prop his hand up, like he didn't want to hold it there.
Maybe he was.
And I thought it was pretty awesome.
Maybe he was checking to make sure he wasn't like sweating through his suit. Oh
just
no,
like,
he had
let
it
me
right
just
there.
hold my hand just right there in my suit.
Nestled in my little suit. Nestle it. Bernie was thinking, what am I doing? Why am I singing this awful song about this awful country that I hate so much?
Yeah.
That's what Bernie was thinking. So the theme of the night, okay? The theme of the night was established pretty early on as the candidates were given their little intros, and you had the lefties up there, the far lefties up there going, America sucks and socialism's great and we should give everything away for free and black people should get free money and blah, 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 blah. And then you had some people actually going, whoa, crazy people, let's take a step back. We're going to lose the election if we keep up all this nonsense. And I was a little like, wow, all right.
Yeah, it was Delaney that did a lot of that.
It was Delaney
that I
and
noticed.
Bullock.
Yeah. They really were trying to get the other candidates to rein it in a little bit because they know like they're going to lose this if they just stay so far left.
There's two things they know. They know that Donald Trump is definitely going to win if the left is running on these policies.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And B, they know that they have to differentiate themselves if they stand a chance because these are the no names, these are the nobodies, these are the people that if you would have asked me, I wouldn't have been able to tell you who they were. As a matter of fact, Montana didn't know. They had to Google Bullock, who's their governor. They didn't even know who he was. He's the governor, and they didn't even know who he was. So that either says something about the intelligence of people in Montana, or it says something about Bullock, who's never in his state, apparently.
I think it says something about Bullock.
It is Bullock, right?
I think it's
You know
Bullock.
why I have to keep asking it is this person's name? Because no one knows who in the heck these people are.
There's
Steve Bullock.
Too many of them.
Steve Bullock. Look at this picture of him.
Oh, that's a
Looks
great
like
picture.
He's selling coffee.
He does.
Anyways,
he
can't
looks
see
like a
this
Montanan.
picture. You can't
Is
see
it
this picture. Yeah, he's from Montana.
No, but he looks like someone from Montana. Like he looks like the face of Montana.
I agree. In this picture,
in that
he does.
picture,
In
yeah.
the debate last night, I don't. But anyways, they were coming after Warren and Bernie, and it was great. What I was a little surprised about is Warren and Bernie kind of had this partnership throughout the night. They didn't really go after each other. It was almost like they were standing up to defend socialism. That was their big thing. We got to defend these crazy ideas. So that's kind of what they did, and I feel like that's probably not the right tactic for either.
No, they should just link arms next time and do a little jig, like
They
sing
can.
"Kumbaya." I mean, Bernie might hurt Bernie. Like he could just pass out on stage, but I mean, yeah, I mean they're basically the same person.
I wouldn't want to put my arms anywhere near Bernie Sanders because he is a lunatic. He was going crazy all night, screaming and hollering and yelling and throwing his hands up, so mad at the world.
But, you know, he reminds me of that, like, old, because what he is, he's like that old, angry Jewish guy that just has to shout. And what is that show? Seinfeld, the guy on Seinfeld. What's his name? The owner, the baseball owner.
George Steinbrenner.
Yes, him. Every time I hear Bernie Sanders' voice, that's who I think of.
he's
I
Larry
think
David.
of Seinfeld.
He's Larry David, and he
Yes.
is. And I'm just expecting George Costanza to walk up and go, Costanza!
Yes!
I hate this government! Capitalism is terrible!
Like, I'm waiting for the episode to begin, but it's just not happening.
There's an episode where he because he wants to get Cuban players that he jokes about, or he talks about embracing communism. And it's funny
does
because
he?
that's like what Bernie does, you know.
That's awesome.
He reminds me of Statler and Waldorf, who are the old guys on the Muppets. They're the old guys who sit up on the balcony and they're old and bitter, and they kind of, that's who he reminds me of.
I have
is
no
that.
idea who those are.
Yeah,
who they
they're
are.
These guys, these old guys.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they just kind of complain, and that's what Bernie reminds me of, right? He's just like the old man that can't help but just complain and moan about everything.
No, he doesn't moan. He yells.
That's what Bernie is. He's just screaming and hollering. And he's hollering so much that Tim Ryan at one point says it has to be the funniest line in his life. He basically says, you don't have to yell, like, coming at Bernie. Because Bernie's up there screaming about everything. Oh, I can't believe the government won't give everybody health care. This is outrageous. Blah, 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 blah. Cussing and hollering and hooting. And I wrote the damn bill.
Yeah, he
Blah,
did.
blah,
He
blah,
did
blah.
cuss on national TV.
Well, who cares?
I know, but
it's just funny. And of course, they're all the people in the crowd are cheering every crazy thing that him and Elizabeth Warren says. Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas, she's out there hollering and hooting about some friend she made or something. I don't know. She got really mad at one point because she was trying to tell this fake made up story about some fake made up friend that she has.
Oh, yeah.
Something about healthcare. She's like, my friend Julie, my best friend I ever met. Best friend ever. Met her last week down in Wyoming. She's my best friend. And she's suffering with this thing. And they just shut her down. Time. And she's like, this is so important.
No, I have to finish my story.
Man, I'm getting loud. I can see the spikes. I hope you don't have this up too loud. Anyways, so that's kind of Bernie and Warren kind of had this partnership, and then you had the less left I don't want to call them moderates. You had the less left people kind of hitting them and hitting them in ways that I'm like, yeah, like get them, Delaney, because they don't make sense. And these policies aren't policies; they're just up their ideas.
Stuff from outer space.
Anytime they were pressed with anything, like how are you going to pay for that? And they weren't pressed very hard, but anytime they were pressed, it was, they just would deflect. Like Elizabeth Warren at one point was asked if she would tax the middle class to pay for her free health care. And she deflected. She said, "Well, I'm gonna tax the rich, but your total cost will go down." What does that mean? Your total cost will go down.
I have no idea what in the world she meant by that, because it doesn't make any sense at all.
I can tell you.
What was really interesting is she made some comment about how you could keep your first $50 million, okay? But then when you get $50,001, that if we take 2 cents from that dollar, you're going to be able to pay for this whole long Christmas list of programs.
She did go on about that 2 cents.
She listed like 20 different things that she could do. One of them was like canceling student loan debt, which that itself is ridiculously expensive, and paying for healthcare and all. I don't even know. Like, she listed this giant long spiel of things. But with 2 cents. I'm like, wow, what 2 cents is paying for this? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, she's talking about 2 cents of every dollar over $50 million. But the funny thing is that Delaney is one of those guys. So Delaney's worth like $65 million or something like that. And they asked him during the debate, they said, how do you feel about Elizabeth Warren's 75% tax on anything over $50 million? And as they're asking him this question, she's just sitting there. And she's standing there and she's rubbing her hands together. She just can't wait to take this man's money.
She's ready.
She cannot wait to steal what this man has worked so hard for in his life. I mean, I don't know Delaney, and I don't know if he worked hard, but I'm going to assume he did. He's a very wealthy man, and she's just rubbing those greedy little hands together, isn't she? Like, I can't wait to get my hands on your hard-earned money so that I can give it to all these people who won't work. I can't wait. I just can't wait to make all these people suckle off the teat of the government, because that's how I get ultimate power.
But see, but at the same time, I'm confused by this, because if you say you want to do a 75% tax rate on these guys, okay, but yet you're telling them they can keep their first $50 million, but we're only going to take 2 cents of every dollar after $50 million, they're keeping 98% of their money. Okay, like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, the problem, what you're doing wrong here is you're trying to find logic in what they said.
Yeah, that's probably a mistake.
Yeah, the reality is they don't have any actual backing of anything that like if I say, "Oh no, I'm not going to tax the middle class." What that really means is I'm going to tax the F out of the middle class.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely going to tax you more. And she was pressed after the debate by Chris Wallace of all people, who's the lefty of the leftist reporters ever. And even he pressed her a little bit, and she just wouldn't answer it. She just kept going, "No, Chris, what we're talking about is the total cost." And he's like, "No, I'm talking about you're going to raise taxes in the middle class." And she's like, "No, the total cost will go down." And I don't think that's even true, because you and I, regardless of how much this costs, we have pretty darn good insurance. And I don't think our total cost is going to go down, but I do think our taxes are going to go up.
Yeah, I mean, and if anything, our insurance it significantly jumped in cost by paycheck when the Obamacare things came out. Like, when that whole thing started, of course, all the medical companies have to recoup their costs, so our premiums that we pay every month went up, which was terrible. Our coverage stayed the same, but our cost went up. So it's like we may not be paying more in taxes at that point in time, but we're definitely paying more out of pocket for it.
Yeah, and Delaney hit her and Bernie big time on this. by basically saying, look, we don't have to. And again, I don't agree with Delaney. I still think he's a loon too. But
he is, but he's
made
less
some good
loony.
Points last night, and I'm going to give him credit for it. He said, listen, you guys are talking about making these people give up their private plan, making it illegal for them to keep their private plan. And then they're both like, no, we're not. And actually they are. If you read the bill that they're proposing, it does actually do that. But then he also hit him back saying, like, listen, these union workers, their unions negotiate for these medical benefits that are pretty great. Like, you're going to tell these union workers who've been the backbone of the Democratic Party for all these years that they got to give up this insurance that their unions fought so hard for? And of course, Bernie and Warren are like, yes, basically, we are. Bernie's like, I know unions better than you, son. And no, you don't.
Well, and like, the other thing too is, like, to be a part of a union, you pay union dues. So not only are you paying into this union to get you better health insurance, and you've gotten that better health insurance, and you're paying into it. But now, if you strip that health insurance away, what are they paying into?
Well,
like, their money's just down the drain.
It's typically the only thing a union can do is get you better insurance. They can also argue for pay, but that doesn't typically work out so well.
No, because if there's not in the budget, it's not in the budget.
It's usually benefits that get improved. And, yeah, I mean, that's an interesting take. That's an interesting stance. And I'll be interested to see how long-term that works out for people like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren if they stay in the race. Because that's just, that's not a good take. So then we talked about immigration a little bit. Of course, they all want to decriminalize the border. They just want to make it...
Not everybody.
Not everybody, but a lot of them want to decriminalize the border. Beto wants to just welcome everybody in with open arms and give them a big hug and then throw a big giant check at them. And then they were pressed a little bit on this issue by saying, listen, if we're giving everybody free health care, isn't that going to, and we're decriminalizing immigration, isn't that just going to have people flood in the gates? And of course, they avoided that. Bernie avoids that question like somebody threw a dodgeball at him, and he just ducks out of the way, and then he starts talking about how Trump's a racist and blah, blah, blah. So again, and we can't expect the moderators to press them because you've got Democrats on the panel. Don Lemon is, maybe now is a good time to talk about this idiot. Don Lemon asked, I think it was Amy Klobuchar, who, by the way, Amy Klobuchar is like the nothingest of nothing. Like, she just might as well drop out tonight. But he hits her with a question that was so stupid. It was like the dumbest question I've ever heard anybody ask anybody. And this is a presidential debate. This isn't fun time. This isn't some dumb show. This is on CNN that no one watches. This is a presidential debate. And this idiot, this freaking racist idiot, race baiting crap hole is out there saying, he literally asked, what do you say to voters who prioritize the economy over Trump's bigotry? That was the question. Just think about that for a second.
It's the dumbest question
I've
ever
heard. It's a biased question. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's the moderator calling Trump a bigot. It's so expressing his opinion right there. He might as well have just got up from the desk, took his little mic off, walked up to the podium, and stood behind it. Because I can't even, that infuriates me because these people are supposed to be neutral. And obviously they aren't. They're not neutral, okay? But at least the other two were hitting them with like semi-good questions.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely give the other two props for that because like right off the bat, it was like they were trying to actually make a debate happen. Whereas when it was on MSNBC, it was just like lobbing these soft questions at them, where this actually felt more like a debate. And I feel like the moderators were somewhat behind that, like being rigorous with time constraints and actually sticking to debate rules. But
so I guess we're treating Don Lemon like a journalist. So I guess if we're treating him like a journalist, then the Democrats, by the way, refuse to debate on Fox News. So Fox News isn't showing any of their debates because they don't want to be on Fox because they don't like opposing thought. So they refuse to be on Fox. But if they were, that would be like putting Sean Hannity or Tucker Carlson on the panel. Like
that would be pretty awesome.
Clearly, you're not going. It would be awesome, but clearly, you're not going to do that.
No, you're not. You're going to have someone that is more liberal and someone that's more conservative.
No, you're not. That's not. You don't want that. You want somebody who's in the middle. You want Brett Baer. You want Brett Baer who's neutral and just reports the news.
I do like Brett Baer.
That's what I'm saying. He just reports the news. He's a straight man, and that's what you want. You want a straight man. You don't.
Well, I'm sure he has his own political leanings as well.
But he doesn't express them or let them influence his journalism.
That's true.
Don Lemon does. He constantly calls Trump a racist. He constantly talks about how Trump's a bigot. He wants Trump out of office.
Yeah.
Any one of those buffoons that were on stage is a better choice to Don Lemon than Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Not to the American people, but to Don Lemon. So anyways, they talked about decriminalizing illegals. What do you think of that? What do you think about decriminalizing, making something legal that is illegal?
I think
its very nature.
It's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought it was interesting that you had some of the candidates almost backpedaling their previous response.
Like Buttigieg.
Yes, because when one of the moderators even brought this up about, like, hey, you raised your hand saying that you would decriminalize this, or I forget exactly what the question was, but he raised his hand and now he was backpedaling and saying, well, it's really not that great of an idea. Mm-hmm. So you did have a lot of this backpedal from some of the candidates, which is, it almost makes me feel like they're realizing they can't be so far out there and expect to get public support. But all in all, the idea of decriminalizing illegal activity is, I don't even know how to describe it other than saying that is wrong. It's just not something that should happen.
Yeah, Buttigieg was still out there. I mean, let's be honest.
I know he was.
He said it was unchristian to not want a minimum wage of $15. I don't know where in the Bible it says that we need the $15 wage. He did quote scripture. I don't know that he's ever read scripture. He certainly doesn't live his life by scripture, but it's interesting that he would try and throw the Bible in people's face, particularly for that.
Well, especially because he's trying to do it with the Democratic Party when a lot of Democrats don't believe in God, or they're atheist, or they have no sense of Christian values whatsoever.
He used it as a mockery, right?
Because he was saying that all of the conservative Christians are against this.
Those crazy conservatives. Oh my gosh, and they're wanting to save money and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So the CBO, let's talk about this $15 minimum wage. So the CBO argued that it would cut 1.3 million jobs.
What's the CBO?
The CBO is the Congressional Budget Office.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, Congressional Budget Office.
They said that it would businesses would cut $1.3 million if we raise the minimum wage to, or 1.3 million jobs if we raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour.
So all of those jobs that President Trump worked so hard to put into place would now be taken away by raising this minimum wage.
It would just basically be like, I'm McDonald's and I can have machines. Maybe we even talked about this.
Yeah, we did, the kiosks.
Yeah, and that's what it is. So they're up there arguing for, we need $15 minimum wage, and I think they know that doing that would force businesses to shut down or to get rid of people.
I don't think they do, though.
No, I think they know. I think they want that. I think they want that because that's more people that will rely on their government-run programs.
And then take more money from the government, making the government go into debt even further.
Yeah, but they don't care about the debt.
Yeah, that's true. Then we become Venezuela.
Yeah, but they don't see that. To them, they want power. And the way you get power is you force people to rely on the government for everything. Yeah. So that's what they want. They want that. I don't know if they really think it's better for the country or if they just hate the country and they want to topple it. But I do know that they want that. They want power, and they want you to rely on them for everything. And that was very evident in the debate. Very evident.
Yeah, they want you to rely on them for everything.
They kept bringing up the economy, which is funny to me because the economy is like the one thing that like you really can't run on. Like,
no, and it's not something that you can argue against either. Like, the economy is the economy.
And it's booming.
Yeah, and that's all statistical evidence. It's all tracked. It's all right there for all of us to look at.
They're hoping you won't.
Yeah, but it's right there. It's in front of your face. Like, you go to Times or New York Square, Times Square, whatever it is, and it's right there on the screens. Like, you can see what the Dow is at.
Their argument is that helps the rich people, but it doesn't help any of the poor people.
It helps everybody. A good economy helps everybody.
It does. And what helps people is the unemployment rate being as low as it is.
Yeah, because people are employed. Basically, they have jobs.
Everyone has a job right now. And This idea, by the way, that like people are out there working 2 to 3 jobs, or teachers are out there working 2 to 3 jobs, it's like 1% or something. It's like really low percentage of people who have to have 2 to 3 jobs. It's like really low.
I mean, I know a lot of teachers that have jobs during the summer.
This is because they get bored.
Yeah, fill their time and they're paid for 9 months of work throughout a 12-month calendar year. So I get why they would want a second job, but
it's not a necessity.
No, it's not. It's not a necessity.
It is what it is. I mean, half the time these people that work 2 to 3 jobs, it's because they're actually just really bad with money. It's not because they're not getting paid enough. It's because they don't know how to budget.
Yeah, they've racked up tons of credit card debt and all the stuff. They can't make ends meet because they have all these expensive bills that they have to pay. Well, they're making a good living wage, but they can't afford to pay all their bills that they've racked up.
That's another thing that, they came out and they're talking about throwing money at the education system and blah, blah, blah. And, that's stupid because, to be honest, they want to cancel all student debt, or at least some of them do. It's just, the problem with that is that you can't, we can't afford it. Again, ask them where they're going to pay for this, and they'll tell you, well, the rich are going to pay for it. No, they're not. That's like Mexico paying for the damn wall. It's not going to happen. They're not going to pay for it, and we're going to pay for it, right? And the deficit, the debt is already incredibly ridiculous, and we're going to fall, man, because at some point our credit's going to go down. We're not going to be able to get more money, and then we're not going to be able to fund these things, and then people are going to be killing each other for bread. And that's we just keep funneling things into this debt and doing this stuff, and it's just stupid.
It's almost like they want to just wake up one morning and just delete all debt and just start over fresh, brand new, zero debt for everything, zero debt for the country, for every person walking on the earth. It just doesn't, it's not sunshine and rainbows. You can't do that. That money is owed to someone for something.
Yeah, if only the world worked that way, right? So, is there anything else I even want to say about? Oh, Marianne Williamson. We should talk about her. She was she was interesting because she comes out and she doesn't have any policies either or any of that stuff. But she's out here talking like a demigod. Just out here talking about dark forces, and Trump's a dark force, and we need to fight this dark force. And what was interesting was she spouts off nonsense, okay? But let's be honest. Everyone on that stage is spouting off nonsense. Okay?
Yeah, they are.
They're all spouting off nonsense, and you got Bernie and Elizabeth who've completely run off the cliff, and they're so far left that they're off the planet, and you got Delaney and them trying to pull them back a little bit, like, you guys need to come back a little bit, you're hanging off the edge, look down, there's no ground under your feet. And they're like, no, you guys should come up here with us, it's fun up here. And Marianne Williamson is just off on her own cloud, and she's talking about dark forces and doing her thing, and she speaks with this
weird accent. I can't even describe it.
Yeah, she has the weird accent, but the way she enunciates and says her words, she knows which words to add emphasis to. She knows how to talk because she talks for a living. So she knows how to talk. And what was funny about Marianne Williamson, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to spin us off into another conversation, but she really got, so at the beginning of the night, whatever, she's an idiot. Nobody comes after her. Well, she's what she is. Nobody comes after her. And then the crowd starts cheering more and more at what she says. And then by the end of the night, she's getting the most applause out of anybody. I mean, they're going nuts for everything this crazy's saying. And they're lapping this stuff up because it's all rhetoric. And we live in the world right now where rhetoric is way more important than plans and actions and any of that. That's what Trump was in 2016, right? Trump didn't have very many plans. He had a lot of rhetoric, but his rhetoric was America's great, America's the best. We need to act like America's the best, liberty over everything. And people really fell into that. People really got into that because that's at our heart. Conservatives are patriots, and that's at our heart. That spoke to us. And Marianne Williamson's the opposite. She's Trump on their side because she's out here talking about dark forces and spirits and feelings and all this stuff. And that's what the left kind of, they're all emotional. They plan on emotion. They act on emotion. Conservatives are logical thinkers, and liberals are emotional thinkers.
Yeah.
And so she's out there doing this. I want to have a little conversation with you. So obviously she's a joke, but she was the most Googled candidate in the majority of states except Montana because they were trying to figure out who their governor was. But everyone else was Googling Marianne Williamson in every state. I see her picking up some ground here out of this debate. I think she comes out of this debate actually as one of the winners, because I think she's going to pick up some ground, and she's going to stay in the race. Her fundraising is going to go up. She's going to make enough money to stay in these debates. I'm telling you.
I mean, it's like people want to see the crazy woman say more crazy things.
But that's people on the right. I'm thinking people are actually buying into these crazy things.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you know Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah, I know who he is.
Wait, why you roll your eyes?
Because he's a dumb comedian.
Oh, well, he made a joke, and he said that Marianne Williamson was one of the most convincing androids he's ever seen. She's just like a little robot.
I think she's a demagogue. I think she's really great at spitting rhetoric. She knows how to elicit emotion from people and get them fired up and get them into what she's saying. And in that way, she's dangerous.
Well, I mean, she is a writer for a living.
Yeah.
She's a spiritual guru thing.
Yeah, so is L.
For a
Ron
living.
Hubbard.
I know, and he's extremely dangerous.
Well, he was. He's dead.
Well, yeah, whatever.
I mean, I don't think Scientologists think he's dead. I think they think he's on the planet Xenu, but
oh yeah,
he's
that's
dead.
True, with the rocket ship or whatever. But like, she just has this way that she can just string words together and just captivate an audience.
She says all the right things to get people who really believe in chi and feel whatever, and I think people like, she's a joke right now because she's funny, because she's so like goofy, but it's like a charming goofy in a way that like she's funny.
I don't know, but that accent just gets me. Like, I just struggle so hard to understand her.
It's all the same things that people said about Trump.
No, I know.
This is the exact same thing, and I remember like when Trump was being controversial, I knew he was going to win, but this is the same stuff. Like, Trump doesn't have a chance. Trump is just a goof. People are just laughing at him. He's a goof. He comes out and he says all these crazy things. Nobody really believes that stuff, and then he ended up winning the nomination. I'm not saying Marianne Williamson is going to win. She's not. But what she's going to do is she's kind of creating the blueprint for one of these other buffoons to follow. And I feel like if they can channel that type of like the ability to get up there. Obama had it. That's why Obama won. He didn't win because of his policies. He won because he was a black guy who could talk like a demagogue, who was up there, talking about unifying the country and saying all these feel-good things, and it got people really into him. He was well-spoken. He knew how to take a crowd. He had that ability. That's why Trump won. He knew how to take a crowd. And all those years in wrestling, he learned how to cut a promo. Can you believe it? And he knew how to take a crowd. And it's the same thing with Marianne Williamson, because that, again, by the end of the night, that crowd was pretty behind her.
Oh yeah, they were loving her.
And if she keeps this up and she can get the media attention, she can get out there, she can get her face out there. She doesn't need policy. The American people, the average voter, doesn't care about policy. They think Trump's a racist and a bigot, and he's out here talking about he hates black people and women and blah, blah, blah. That's all they care about. So if Marianne Williamson is the opposite of Trump and she's out here going, I just love everybody. We should channel love. Love is the best thing. Love can fight all. People actually believe that crap. And I think that will resonate with people who are on the left and who want to stare at the sun for 15 hours so that they can draw energy from it. Like, I feel like that crowd, these people that are talking about invading Area 51, they're the ones who are going to vote for Marianne Williamson.
Can you imagine a Marianne Williamson Trump 2020? Can you imagine that?
I can, and I'm going to give Marianne Williamson money so that I can hopefully see it. Because that's a pay-per-view event that I'm willing to pay for.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Like, I can see President Trump just standing there looking at her like, what is happening over there?
The real fear is not her. I'm not afraid of her. I don't think she could beat Trump.
No, I don't either.
The fear is that one of these other candidates start to channel that. And I saw Elizabeth Warren doing a little bit of that last night. I saw her doing a little bit of that, kind of just saying nonsense, but saying it in a way that it gets people fired up. And you say all these fluff words. If you notice this, you can always tell the polished politicians, because they can say all this fluff that has absolutely zero substance behind it, but it gets people kind of pumped up. It's like what was the line she delivered last night that got the crowd just roaring, because they weren't cheering for the logical people. They were cheering for all the nonsense. And she said something about like, I don't know why you go through the trouble of running for president if you're just going to come up here and say all the things we can't do. And then everybody went nuts. Yeah, F you.
Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah, she said that. F you, Delaney. F you, all you people who are making sense. We don't make sense. We're the Democrats.
Yeah, she had some comment about how, like, you're not democratic enough to be up here on the stage.
Yeah, let the Republicans talk not logic. Let them talk about real life. we're all trans people. We're all living in a delusional land where we're pirates and space people and women and men and whatever we want to be. And that's what it was. And interestingly enough, too, it was ridiculous how much of that there was last night. But then also the people go nuts for this stuff. That audience, that's what they want. They want the nonsense. I don't know.
They want the crazy.
I'm a little more worried than other pundits. I'm a little more worried because
you're a pundit.
We are pundits.
That's true.
I'm a little more worried about it because it was with the Trump thing, right? Like the same stuff. Everybody came out and said Trump doesn't have a chance. Trump doesn't have a chance, and then he won. And then all the pundits were like, "Oh!" And now the pundits are out there going, "Democrats don't have a chance. Trump's already won." Blah 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 blah. And it's like, I don't know, man. I'm feeling a little worried.
You're feeling a little Marianne Williamson.
Well, I don't think she worries me, but like Bernie. Well, not Bernie so much. The thing is, Bernie and Elizabeth and pretty much all of them are polling pretty far behind Biden. And Biden's going to shift so far to the middle when he actually gets the nomination. It's not going to be like anybody who's listening to Biden right now. This is not the Joe Biden you're going to get in 12 months.
No.
You're going to have old moderate Joe out there going, we need to unify. We need to bring everybody together. I'm not going to do any of this crazy stuff. I know I said that 12 months ago, but that was me trying to win my primary.
Man, I want to see how Joe Biden fares tonight.
Joe Biden is Hillary Clinton. So he's the old standard, right? He's the old standard, throne holder of the DNC. And we'll see because they're all shifting. Tom Perez, who's the chairman of the DNC, he was out there before the debates kicked off talking about how much they love Al Sharpton, who is just a real piece of crap, and a race-baiting piece of crap who likes to make money off of race.
What does he do for a living?
He's a reverend.
Wait, so reverends make that much money?
Well, some reverends.
Oh.
Obviously.
Is he a TV reverend?
No, he's a huckster. He's like one of those guys that chase ambulances. Except he does it with race incidents. So
okay, so something happens. He's the
flying
first one there.
He swoops in and he gets them all fired up, and then they pay him.
They pay him, and then he leaves and goes to the next thing. And he's like, "Screw you, I'm leaving.
Exactly
Money's over here."
And him and Trump are in a real funny war because they're like they're arguing with each other, but then they keep showing pictures of them with the other. So it's almost like you're a real racist, but we used to be friends. And then Trump's like, you're a real piece of crap who goes and just tries to get money from people, but we used to be friends. It's like weird.
Hilarious.
It's like this weird, like, I don't know, like they're talking about how much they used to associate with each other, but then they're talking about how big of a piece of crap the other one is.
Well, I wonder if Al Sharpton thought that he was a racist when he was best friends with him.
Or taking money from him.
Yeah.
How about Kamala Harris? I always say her name wrong. Kamala. It's Kamala.
Kamala.
It's not Kamala. It's Kamala. Kamala Harris. It came out today that she actually took $6,000 from Donald Trump.
What?
Yeah, to one of her campaigns a long time ago. So Donald Trump used to be a Democrat. Donald Trump's a businessman. He's going to give money to anybody who will make it easier for him to do business. When did he make
this switch, this political switch?
When he ran.
What?
I don't know.
Be a Democratic wrestling fan.
I don't have time to talk about that. I don't know what Trump is, okay? What I know is he's doing a good job, and that's all I care about.
Yes, he is. He's a businessman.
Anyways, then we got all the racism talk. Racism. All white people are racist, and we hate them, and black people deserve free money. That's basically what it boils down to. So I'm going to ask you, because we're 52 minutes in, and we got to wrap this up so that we can get ready and prep for night 2, which is the real main event. I'm going to ask you, who do you think won this debate?
I still think President Trump won.
Well, okay. Who won the debate that was actually there?
That's hard to say, but I don't know. I have no idea.
A lot of people are saying Elizabeth Warren, and I'm going to say I would agree with that, except for the fact that she needs to separate herself from Bernie, because right now they're stealing each other's votes, and if they stay in it, which I think both of them will, they have no chance of being the nominee.
Your girl, Alyssa Milano from last week. Talk was spouting her endorsement of Elizabeth Warren. Thought that was pretty fun.
I'm sure everyone really cares. I'm sure everyone really cares about who Alyssa Milano is going to vote for.
I know.
All right, so everybody go vote for Elizabeth Warren, because Alyssa Milano, who definitely doesn't make over $50 million a year, is going to. She looks incredibly presidential.
That's what Alyssa Milano said.
Yeah.
I love E. Warren so very much. She's looking incredibly presidential.
Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah, I did too.
I disagree. I think that she did not. She has no substance to any of what she's saying, and the American people don't want. They don't want that. They don't want these ideas. And Hollywood can say whatever they want. Nobody gives a darn what Hollywood thinks. So there is that. Go make your movies, clown. Go dance on stage, clown. That's your freaking job. So go out there and dance for us, clown, because that's what you do. Actually, Alyssa Milano doesn't do that because she doesn't act anymore because she's not a good actress and nobody wants to hire her for anything. So
nope, she's a TV host now.
And she hosts a show that 14 people watch, and they're all probably 3-year-old trans kids. So
hey,
let's move on.
I'm not a 3-year-old trans kid.
Yeah, you shouldn't watch that trash. All right,
No,
let's move on. What channel is that on?
Bravo or Lifetime
No,
Bravo.
You don't even know.
Bravo,
Exactly.
I don't know.
No one knows because no one watches it because Alyssa Milano's trash. All right. So, and doesn't she not even host the main one? She hosts like the
spinoff.
Yeah, the spinoff. She's not even good enough for the main show. Okay, Alyssa Milano. I think I'm a better actor than she is an actress. I feel like I have more acting credits than Melissa Milano because I did high school plays. So I'm definitely a more trained actor than Alyssa Milano. Anyways, half the people listening are like, who again? Who's Alyssa Milano? Does she have a restaurant or something? Okay, so I think that I don't know who won. I would say that the American people lost. I would say that Elizabeth Warren probably won, but I think Marianne Williamson is dangerous, and I think she could steal this from them, and I'm going to give her $50 as soon as we end this podcast.
There you go.
So, night 2 is tonight. Night 2, round 2, CNN tonight. The main event. What are you looking forward to tonight?
I'm really looking forward to see how old sleepy Uncle Joe fares during this, because I feel like he's kind of out there in a land of extremely liberals.
He's going to get hit a lot. Kamala, I did it again. Kamala Harris is going to come after him. Cory Booker is going to come after him. They're probably going to team up to go after him.
Oh, yeah.
So Joe's going to have to pick himself up off the ground. I expect to hear a lot about racism tonight. I expect to hear a lot about how white people are bad. I expect to hear more of some of what we heard yesterday, and I'm hoping that we have some people tonight who shine, who aren't maybe popular people, the no-names. I have a favorite in this race, but I'm going to save that, and I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. That's what I got.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're going to leave it here. Again, go to our website, rwvegan.com. Follow us on Twitter, @veganwing, and do the stuff. Email the show, rwvegan@gmail.com. Tell us about things. Talk to me about racism, because everybody else seems to want to right now. So that's that.
That's it.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. We will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.